Welcome to the studio at the African Utility Week in Powergen Africa. Today I'm speaking with Onisi Odiare from Nigeria, who will be speaking with us in regard to how utilities and off-grid developers can work together to ensure the security of energy distribution and supply networks. Welcome, Mr. Onisi.
Thank you very much, Nicholas.
Okay. How has been the Nigerian government successful in ensuring that there is enough energy distributed to all the consumers?
Well, as you know, over the last 3 years, we've moved from just relying on the grid, to provide electricity to everyone in Nigeria, both on grid and off grid, to more of trying to have a blended energy mix, a better energy mix, whereby while the grid we're trying to strengthen it, we're now bringing in more of off-grid into the space, mini-grid, solar home systems and the likes. And this government, as soon as President Muhammadu Buhari came into government in 2015, he ensured that he sort of laid the foundation for this new sort of policy to thrive. So we now have a new mini-grid regulation in the country that allows and provides some sort of comfort for investors to come in and check out the opportunities there. And then we have a policy, a rural electrification strategy and implementation plan that also allows, that lays out, a plan for us to do this. So the plan basically is look at mini grids, look at solar home system deployment, and then create programs around the markets, energizing economies, create programs, to provide access to electricity to universities, and then see how we can bring interconnected mini-grid into the space by allowing utilities, distribution companies and smaller players to interact and find a win-win situation.
Okay, so it's a new government which is coming to embark on new business models for the energy industry. That's nice. There's been some interesting stats coming out of the AUW. For instance, the city of Cape Town said they've managed to electrify almost 98% of their 1.2 million households. And yesterday, the South African Energy Minister, Jeff Radebe, said up to 3 million consumers only do not have access to energy. But experts are denying that. They are saying up to 17 million don't have access to stable electricity. In the case of Nigeria, what remains the barrier to electrifying all the consumers, especially those in the rural areas?
As you know, there are a couple of barriers that normally inhibits energy access, and largely in Nigeria we've been able to tackle a few. We've been able to tackle the issue of regulation. We've been able to tackle the issue of having data and having a plan, because we have a plan now in place. And the major one now is that of funding, financing. And financing, as you know, comes from different sources. The issue of technology, all of those things have been sorted. We've piloted a lot of technologies. We know that they work. We've piloted a lot of business models. We know that they work. So for us now, moving forward, we really need to scale. And for us to scale, we need a lot of money because Nigeria is a big country, with the largest economy in Africa, the largest population, 190 million people, and close to 83 million to 90 million people do not have access. So we see this as an opportunity to bring in people, investors to take advantage of this and invest. But for us to create this enabling environment as government, we know that that's our job, and we've done that. We've created the enabling environment. We're seeing a lot of traction. A lot of people are coming in now to invest, but we need much more, and we need to move more quickly. Okay. So funding is the issue, and we're mobilizing different sources of funds. The World Bank has committed $350 million. The African Development Bank has followed suit with $200 million for this Nigerian electrification program that the Rural Electrification Agency is championing. And then we also have the Rural Electrification Fund, which has been operationalized. We have some projects coming from there. So this 2019 is a year of just projects and scaling up. But beyond this money we are getting from DFIs and government, we are also trying to leverage on private developers and private sector, local banks, international banks, to bring in funding into the space. And it's a continuous process. And that's why I'm also here at the Africa Utility Week. Anytime I get to places like this, you see people that you start talking with, eventually they end up in the country. So it's a continuous process, and we'll redouble our efforts and continue to do
so
that.
The technology is there, but there is no funding. How is the government trying, or what measures are they putting in place to ensure that they attract more investors?
Investors need to have certainty. They need to know what the rules of the game is. They need to know that if the project, is the project viable, they need data, they need plans, they need regulations, they need policies in place. These are things that are within the purview of government, and these are things that we've done. So right now, all those things that the investor would normally complain of, the government has made sure, that we put it in place. So it's just for them to really take that risk now, because in everything you do, there's a risk here. It's for you to come in and invest. But even at that, we are still very flexible, and we're open to, taking in their further concerns, if there are any, to see what we can do, to make them comfortable and create the enabling environment for them. So, yeah.
So finance, as you hear him, he's saying the regulation is there, so you need to pack yourselves and head towards Nigeria. There's a lot of opportunities there. So in regard to utilities partnering with off-grid developers, any comments about that?
Yes, this is an area that we've had difficulties in the past, and we are now beginning to try to bring them together, because we see it as a win-win situation if the distribution company and other sort of decentralized developers come together, and in areas, for instance, where the utility is not making any profit, they can come in there. They are better able to manage those areas, reach some sort of agreements, and we'll see how it goes, in the form of interconnected mini grids, in the form of embedded generation. All the provisions are there under the law for them to be able to tap into this and try and synergize and come up with a win-win situation. So we're also enabling this. We are coordinating a program called the Interconnected Mini Grid Acceleration Scheme in collaboration with GIZ, Nigerian Energy Support Program in Nigeria. And we've just advertised, I think, 2 weeks ago, but we got expression of interest from 9 distribution companies, 9 utilities out of 11. Okay. So that shows, that's a good sign. We've also before now called them, had a stakeholders engagement with them, tried to encourage them not to see lower players, within the market at further decentralized level as competitors, but to see them as partners in progress, and they are beginning to understand this. So we'll see how it goes though. Okay.
Nigeria is one of a kind in Africa. 11 utilities in one country.
Yes.
In Africa, we are used to one utility. Sanusi, thank you for coming in and for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Okay. Sure. Appreciate it.
Thank you for staying tuned, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more energy and water-related content. Bye for now.